Hello y'all, my name is Reese and what you're viewing is a close reading of the game by Lucas Pope called Papers, Please. Without having any knowledge of what the game was, I had assumed the storyline was something to do with the border, as when someone asks you for your papers, it's typically and most commonly to do with crossing a border. Okay, so the opening page. You are hit with a very daunting soundtrack which kinda sounds like a song one might march to in war as if they were approaching their enemy. It makes it feel as if you've traveled back in time to cough cough Hitler times. I also get this feeling due to how the title is rising up from the bottom of the frame. When titles rise like that, it's typically to show power, victory, or authority. So, the time is 1982 and I've just been hired on by the government. Let me mention that I did not agree to this job. I've got this job as my name is pulled in some sort of job lottery. Right away, that's kind of reinforcing this sense of power from the government that I discovered earlier. They also mention that an apartment will be provided for me and my family, and that I must report for immediate placement. Glory to our Statska, it says. That tells me that the government only looks to better itself in its world ranking of power, and likely doesn't care too much about what its civilians think. Alright, so our country, our Statska, has just reopened its border, as a 6-year war has now ended, and my job is to be a border security inspector. I must inspect people's papers and check if it meets all requirements to enter our country. If it doesn't meet the ever-changing requirements as you progress through the game, you're supposed to deny entry into the country. But the conflict of the game comes from your salary and having to provide for your family. The more people you get through the gates, the more money you make, but if you make mistakes and you risk penalties being taken off your salary or being tossed in jail. So, the baseline objective for success is to get as many people through without making any mistakes. You are given many progressively tough choices throughout the game that are supposed to question your empathy and dignity as a player. For example, there is a lady that may come up to your desk that fears for her life as a person waiting in the line after her is threatening to pimp her out to make her a sex worker, but the man's papers who she makes these claims about happen to be valid for entry. What are you going to do? Collect the pay as you're getting another person through the gates, or save this lady from possible harm? Choices like this are what come up during the game, and you will arrive at one of the 20 different outcomes based on your decisions. The game isn't using any crazy realistic graphics, it's very similar to old Nintendo games, but the audio and information provided to you very effectively help contextualize the world around you. For example, every morning when you wake up you read the paper, which displays daily news and events. The events talked about are often to do with what happened at the border. So it sets the game deeper into reality as you're seeing things that you experienced at work being talked about through a different perspective. You get so tapped into your role as the inspector that you truly start to make what seems like real life decisions.